we really need to treat the opioid epidemic like the public health crisis it is, and not a moral failing.
August is Overdose Awareness Month. On Wednesday the 27th, a vigil was held at the Memorial Building to remember community members who lost their lives to overdoses. Overdoses accounted for 80,391 deaths nationally in 2024. This is an issue particularly close to State Representative Kate Donaghue's heart.
I lost my son, my only child, to an overdose.
Kate's son Brian passed away in 2018 after struggling with addiction and depression. A few years later, she decided to run for state representative in the 19th Worcester District. Raising awareness of substance use disorder was a central part of her platform.
And in times where it was hard for me to talk about my son's situation, I would think back to my friend's words, "You have a voice, use it," and I would power through it and talk about losing a son to an overdose.
And that she did. Since Brian's passing, she has advocated for multiple bills aimed at making recovery more accessible. So as we enter September, which is Recovery Awareness Month, we wanted to explore what resources are most helpful to that process and what's happening at the state and local levels to make recovery more achievable. Massachusetts Bill H2196 introduces measures designed to reduce overdose deaths and expand access to treatment, with a strong emphasis on harm reduction. It cites needle exchange, primary care, including disease prevention and health screenings, access or referral to evidence-based treatment options, drug testing, overdose reversal care, supervisions of people who use pre-obtained substances, and other social support services deemed permissible by the department as resources that fall under the harm prevention umbrella. Kate is a co-sponsor of the bill.
Harm reduction saves lives. It works.
Although overdose numbers in 2024 remained high, they represented a 27% drop from the previous year, the lowest level recorded since 2019.
BSAS has largely attributed these reductions to harm reduction, specifically the distribution of Narcan.
Narcan, or naloxone, is a medicine that rapidly reverses an opioid overdose, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse.
Narcan is a life-saving drug. I carry it with me all the time.
According to 2019 findings by the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, over 16,000 rescues were reported by bystanders who administered naloxone to a person who was overdosing. Kate has supported multiple bills aimed at making the life-saving medicine more accessible and hosted the first ever Narcan training day at the State House. If passed, Bill H2196 could also open the door for another type of harm reduction resource, overdose recovery centers, or OPCs. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, OPCs are where people can use illicit substances obtained elsewhere in a controlled setting. Staff at such centers are trained to detect and respond to drug overdoses and may connect people to health and support services, including substance use and mental health treatment.
Overdose prevention centers are statistically shown to reduce the number of overdose deaths.
A study in Toronto found there was a 69% decrease in overdoses within a 1,000-meter radius around OPC sites in 1 year there. Rhode Island recently opened the first state-sanctioned OPC in January of this year. By March, the center's director reported to WPRI that hundreds of people had visited their site, and dozens of overdoses had already been prevented.
I think it'd be amazing if we could have sites like that to be able to aid in saving a life and also offering resources. How great would that be? I mean, the numbers are just amazing from what I hear in Rhode Island and elsewhere that have it. So I can't wait that the possibility that we may be able to have it passed here.
A joint hearing for Bill H2196 is scheduled for September 15th. Meanwhile, there are a handful of local organizations committed to supporting the recovery of those struggling with substance use disorder. One of them is Anchored in Recovery, a peer-led recovery and support center in downtown Framingham.
Having a space to be able to offer someone opportunity or purpose, right? Or routine is vital.
Director Bridget Nicholson says her organization provides that through resources like peer support groups and educational programming. In fact, she recently introduced a new program named Recovery Capital, which helps members identify all the pieces it takes to recover, while emphasizing that each individual's process will look different.
It's a well-tailored suit. It's different. You know, my size and shape isn't going to be the same as yours, and my addiction recovery isn't. We may overlap each other for sure and utilize similar resources, but it's going to be tailored differently.
Despite that, Nicholson says recovery is far from a solitary journey, and Anchored in Recovery helps ensure that.
It takes a village to recover. It takes a community to come out of the despair that we have found ourselves.
We have different meetings, so it's good because we know that somebody's there and you're not lonely.
It helped me a lot, I ain't gonna lie, a lot, you know. I was so lost, you know, so this place is, what can I say? It changed my life and everything.
Nicholson says ultimately, the members of Anchored in Recovery are a resource themselves. Spreading awareness of successful recovery stories like Carlos's, Damaris's, and her own can help prove it is possible.
Events within the community to show that we can and we do recover, right? Supported people recover, community connections are vital, and together we can.